extend exactly what we're doing. Thirdly, we'll develop systems, processes, and tools to better acquire and capture knowledge, including indigenous knowledge, which is so much needed at this time. Because now indigenous knowledge is being taken and rebranded as new technologies, but they've existed. We'll look at them and then develop appropriate dissemination system. We've got our sites where we host our blogs. We'll be also publishing, co-publishing with our strategic partners, basically sharing whatever information we have. And then, like I mentioned, we work collaboratively with each pillar. So in brief, this is what we do. I don't have much time to go into details, but what we currently doing and is ongoing is that we're combining a lot of technologies and applying it to evaluation. Our aim is to be able to digitize every household plot in Africa in the long run. Before anyone says it's audacious and it's not possible, I want to tell you that it's already started and we'll be seeking partners for that. But in order to reduce household survey costs, especially agricultural household survey costs, we've initiated a program. In fact, we finished the pilot where we're harnessing the use of remote interviewing using mobile phones. So I was keen to hear this morning's presentation. And in our case, we've been able to develop a data center, very secured one, sitting somewhere on the continent, where we're creating a platform using geospatial information. And from our call centers, when a farmer is called, the aim is to collect information during the entire cropping cycle. So when the farmer is clearing the plot, we talk to him. When he's going to sow, we talk to him. When he's all the cultural practices, we talk to him. When he's harvesting, we talk to him. After harvest, we talk to him. And again, it's ongoing, we've tested it. The uniqueness, however, is that when the interviewer calls a farmer, our platform is able to bring in real time all the farmer plots. So when a farmer, you ask the farmer, how many of your plots are you cultivating this season? He says, I'm cultivating 2. You can immediately tell whether it's 1 or 2 or whether it's not even cultivating. And again, I'm telling you, it's done and it's going to be scaled up. Our partners are able to provide us information in real time, even to the level to as low as 2.5 centimeters. So we can tell the growth of what has been cropped. And we are able to use that to feedback, be able to tell the farmer what you sow, for instance, the maize, this particular area of your plot is not doing well. Could you check it out? We give proactive information. So this is one of the areas where we're combining all kinds of technologies to be able to give immediate direct feedback to the farmer. And for this, we also seek partners to scale up because we want to be able to, by the end of the year, have reached as many farmers as possible. So I'll stop here for my other vice P's, and then we'll continue.
Thank you, Dr. Samuel. Thank you. Round of applause for Dr. Samuel for that brilliant presentation.
Fancy. Those 5 criteria, is it that, criteria? And that's what everybody is using. But we need to look critically and see what are the criteria that we need to measure things in the global south. Not every project or every program or every evaluation falls within that 5 criteria. So we need to think about those things. Also, to bring professionals, as we have done here, to share their ideas and other things. There wasn't a single organization that is bringing evaluation professionals, apart from the evaluation associations like AFRA, American Evaluation Association, European Evaluation Society, but
will help in developing a comprehensive framework for capacity building in evaluation. But this will be in collaboration and partnership with like-minded institutions. We'll work with academic and training institutions, government agencies, donor community, the government, civil society, the private sector, academia, and those evaluation professional organizations in order to advance evaluation capacity and development in the Global South. We really focus on individual capacity, but we hope to trap both new entrants and also those that are already in monitoring and evaluation. We think that we are going to help strengthen institutional capacity in areas of curriculum development and also in areas of research and innovation, as we're saying that we hope offer or work with institutions with help in enhancing evaluation theory and practice. Evaluation communications will target professionals with diverse backgrounds.
In fact, we are going to be looking at the media as partners rather than using the media as people you call to report events. So how can we look at the media as a partner to try and drive a strong communication agenda? How can we use social media platforms, not just to communicate what ICE is doing, but really to drive that transformation agenda? In terms of policy formulation and advocacy, one of the things that is critical is bringing voices together and being able to work together towards a certain specific advocacy goal. And in doing this, we're going to be working very closely with partners. The idea actually behind ICE is that we can do nothing as a single organization. We can only achieve much if we work together. And our starting point is saying that actually one of the biggest tragedies is that even though there's plenty of recommendations out there, these recommendations are not impacting the way they make their policy decisions. We want to be able to change that by ensuring that policymakers everywhere are making evidence-based decisions. And we want to leverage on your research. In fact, ICE is going to be doing some research and some evaluation, but at the end of the day, we want to leverage on your research. We want to use what you have done, what you have in your hand, to get these decisions. On 25th to 26th July 2017. And then next year, we have actually proved that there are enough issues. Next year, we're going to have the mother of all.
I did mention a bit about what we're working currently on. We realize that doing household survey, especially in agriculture, is very expensive. So we're developing, and we've done about a third of it, we're developing a way of doing which also can actually tell up to 2.5 centimeters from the ground, the growth of a plant. And then bringing about technology, which we are designing and bringing a platform, because ultimately, you realize every development partner or project comes into Africa and want to do a baseline before starting. What if they have a dynamic or organic baseline already there, which is periodically updated? So you don't have to come and do your own baseline, probably because you don't have the expertise, so that we can really have a stable platform for measuring impact.
My question will go to Dr. Mary. In terms of the key focus areas, you have talked about fellowship. As a way forward, what is the process of engaging people, and so that we can have informed information to share out there? Thank you.
But Sylvia maybe would. We are looking at partnership. So what is, okay, how are you going to engage the private sector? Knowing that the private sector has a lot. They have data, they have everything, but they don't share. So how are you going to engage them?
Getting more information on what is being done to support African graduates, especially those who are doing or finishing their PhDs. Thank you.
You are African
institute. You are operating within the context of Africa, and the vision is also just indicating that. So why international? Why not African? The name itself.
What do you intend to do? What do you have in plan? Like when you're partnering with another institution, what are aspects around ownership? And probably number 2, why did you choose agriculture? Probably left out some other sectors like health, any other sectors. Why agriculture?
Who is to make a follow-up to see to it that there is an action to that result? Thank you.
Now, my question is, where does ICE see its place in terms of evaluation of humanitarian interventions? Thank you.
Use the info services at iceever.org, and then we reviewed their CV. But again, this will depend on, in future, as we mobilize resources, get grants, get projects, and then they join to support the projects as researchers and innovators to support us. But we are really looking forward to having more fellows, postdoc and postmasters. Thanks.
Why ICE? Why not Africa? I think I have a slide here that talks about 34 names that we went through to come with the name International Center. As we have been talking about Global South. Global South is bigger than Africa. So you are talking about, when you look at Global South, is even bigger than the Global North. And if you look at our map, you see that it's an organization that is based in Africa, but it's reaching out. Our first board meeting that we had, and the chair of the board meeting was here, our board members were cutting across 16 hours time zone. So while somebody was 7 o'clock in San Francisco, it was 11 p.m. in Seoul, in South Korea, and trying to organize a web-based board conference on 16-hour time zone wasn't an easy task. What we are saying, that's why at times we come and we said, especially Africa. But the issues in Global South are almost similar. Evaluations have been put from the Global North. That is where the donors are based. So when you are talking about, cultural and context, when you are talking about indigenous, when you are talking about these things, you go to the Global South, and they are all there. So I think that is what we are aiming at. Therefore, we move from ASRA to, all those things, and finally, we settled on Global South. Why agriculture? My MNE was learned from HEF. When I started MNE, there wasn't much, methodologies, and I think Howard said it, systematic review, even RCT was borrowed from the HEF sector, isn't it? You have in Kenya here, you have APHRC that are doing a very good work in health and education. But when you come to sustainable development, we are still evolving and we are still innovation. And the work that he has done in livestock, if I haven't come to Kenya and gone to Erie, few work were going into those areas. So these are some of the things that, we saw the gap, and when I talk about it, I said agriculture, nutrition, food security, land and property rights. We are working on a global perception of security. And the partners we were working with them were using the Western approach of assessing land security. And when we came in, we said, no. In Africa, when you talk about land security, perception of land security is different. Poverty perception. When you come to Kenya, you can get 90% of poverty perception. Everybody thinks that everybody is corrupt, isn't it? Without any evidence. So far as we say that I suspect that this person has stolen money, everybody thinks that you have stolen money. without even going to court to prove it, isn't it? Yes. So our perception in Africa is different. It's not based on data, it's not based on facts. But if you take the same instrument and you bring it in Africa as you measure perception, Africa is going to have 99% perception of corruption, isn't it? But corruption is everywhere. But our perception is corruption is let a political leader accuse you that you are corrupt, and everybody thinks that you are corrupt, whether it has been proven or not. So that is what we came in and we said that, let us look at an areas like, private sector in development, ICT in development, innovative finance. They are emerging areas that are coming up. So we are not only doing agriculture, but we are looking at areas, sustainable development areas that have not been covered. And I think I haven't talked about humanity evaluation yet. Maybe somewhere along the line we will look at it. Okay. Then somebody, I think that is ownership of results. I think Sylvia will answer that one.
Okay, so there are some really good questions, and I would like to thank the people who've asked the questions. I want to start with the rather obvious one, the question about evidence plus action is equals to results. This is actually what we want the focus to be on. Because I think for many of you who are either researchers or people who come up with the evaluations, you're always very happy when you finish your study. Now we would like to actually turn that around. That the focus should be on the end game. And what is the end game? The end game is that you want to see that policy that you are evaluating, or that that research you are doing, the findings that you have come up with, you want to see a change, right? So who is going to do this? We are going to do it together. As I said, with IceWell, we always take a partnership focus. So what we want to do is be able to define the policy constraints, identify what studies have been done, what evidence there is to be able to demonstrate to the governments that really if you make this investment, that you're going to be making a difference. At the end of the day, we have to recognize two things. One is that investment in evaluations and research is very, very expensive. People are spending millions and millions of dollars on your research, on your work. But what they would really like to see is that really making a difference. So when we're talking about the unique approach we're taking as ICE, is that we would really like to identify certain policies that we would like to see change, certain practices that we'd like to see change, and certain actions that we'd like to see changed. And really use the research and evaluation that is coming out of all of our institutions to make sure that we achieve a change agenda. So the answer is all of us are going to do it together. On the issue of private sector, I think there's no businessman who will not want to see development move forward, because as the country develops, their bottom line improves. So what we have to do, actually we are in a very good position, because we have evidence that demonstrates what needs to be done. So we'd like to bring the private sector on board as a partner as well, because they tend to have very good relationships with the policymakers. And leveraging on their relationships, leveraging on their experience, leveraging on their data and information, we can work together towards driving that policy change agenda that we want to achieve. Bottom line, like I said, it's about the end game. We want to ensure that at the end of the day, it's not just a matter of ticking a box and saying we've done this study, ICE has done this study, so-and-so has done this study, and being quoted in many journals. That's also nice, eh? But at bottom line, we want to see the difference and want to ensure that we are actually contributing to a lasting difference and a meaningful difference in the lives of smallholder farmers around the continent.
Yes, I think the last one I will add is that Dr. Samuel was talking about our, real-time data collection. Currently, one of the biggest reinsurance organizations based in Germany is engaging us on how they can use the real-time data collection to work on their insurance premiums and other things to predict those things. And I think Abu will have a lot to say if we have time. But if you want to know how private sectors are engaging, we can talk about it after the session because of time.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.